Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we getting on? So, the Bethesda Xbox E3 conference has just ended, and there was a ton of very, very cool stuff in there. I know there's a lot of stuff from a lot of developers I'm going to be looking at. Obviously, the massive news is the Starfield trailer, but I'm going to have a look at that in another video that will be coming up very, very soon. So, do make sure you subscribe and keep an eye out for that one. But for now, let's have a look at the Fallout 76 stuff, specifically the Steel Rain trailer and the Expeditions trailer that we got. Oh, very excited for this. Okay then, so up first, let's have a little look at the Steel Rain launch trailer. So we have a launch date for Steel Rain, which, being open and honest, I was wrong. My guess was wide of the mark. I was guessing the 27th for that one, looking at the community calendar, but we have a launch date of the 7th of July. So, got that one wrong. I got the Starfield one right, but I did get that one wrong. But that's very, very cool. It means it's coming even sooner than expected. I am still waiting to find out on when Season 4 will end and when Season 5 will start. We know Season 5 is due to come with Steel Rain and that update, but I suppose it doesn't have to start at the same time as the update. It could be a few weeks later and simply be put into the game at that stage, and triggered later. So, not quite sure on that yet, no word. Going to keep my eyes open, and of course I will let you know when I do know. Obviously, as I say, the 27th is still seeming like a likely date for the season's changeover, given that the weekend prior to that is a double score weekend, so that would make sense, but we'll wait and see. It's probably worth having a good push towards making your way through that season sooner rather than later if you are lagging behind a little bit, just to be on the safe side, if you want to hit rank 100. But, right, on that note, let's have a look at this trailer, and obviously, I could dive into the PTS and actually play it if I really want to find out about it, but I don't want to spoil that for myself. I want to experience it on stream with you guys the first time, so do watch out for that. But yeah, let's have a look at the cool stuff that's in this, and we'll pull it apart a little bit. Okay, so headphones on. Let's take a little look at this. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to play the sound on this, which I do apologise for, but if you want to see the full trailers, I'll link them down in the description below, so you can check them out on Bethesda's YouTube channel. But obviously, I don't know what the copyright issues are here and there with the copyrighted music, things like that. So we'll take a quick look through this and pull out some of the cool stuff and see what we can see. So, as expected, strong language. So yes, at the end of Steel Dawn last time, the super mutants attacked Fort Atlas, and they make it a big thing in the story there about the need to deal with the super mutant threat as being priority 1. So that's obviously going to be the first thing we're having to deal with. Obviously, we've also got the massive fracture in the Brotherhood of Steel as well. Got a cool look at some of the new outfits there as well. Mercenary outfit and the Brotherhood civvies as well, which look very, very cool. As well as some of the existing ones as well. Nice. So yeah, there we've got a reference to them splitting their forces as well in the voiceover. Shin's obviously heading off to deal with one issue and separating Romani off to deal with what presumably she thinks is another more pressing issue. Possibly. Or simply that it could be from the look of that shot there, if we go back and have a quick look at it again. Scrub through it, where was it? Here we go. So you sort of see there, Shin's giving him a wave off as he heads out. Romani clearly doesn't agree with the decision, judging by the expression on her face, and they're heading down to the Blue Ridge Caravan here. So I'm not quite sure what's going to go on there. Obviously, it's good to see Blue Ridge getting some more involvement, as they've been underutilised so far, so definitely happy about that. But, yeah, interested to see what this is going to be. Does this mean, because we know there's a second thread to the story that we'll see in a bit, does this mean Romani's going to focus on one thread and Shin's going to focus on the other? Or is this just Shin basically throwing down the gauntlet and walking out on the Brotherhood as led by Romani and sort of founding his own group of outcasts, I suppose, to throw a Fallout 3 reference in there. But that could be very, very cool. Either way, there's a lot of potential in there. Obviously, the conflict between Romani and Shin is going to have to come to a head somehow and will ultimately have to be resolved. So that'll be interesting to see what happens. Let's push on a bit. So yeah, we've also got missing Brotherhood members from the sound of it, and a search for them, which is very, very interesting. So whether this is a third thread compared to one that we're going to see a bit more of in a minute, or it ties into one of the others, I don't know, but very, very interesting. Definitely a lot going on with the Brotherhood. So looking forward to seeing what we've got going on there. Nice to see some epic Liberty Prime power armor being used. Very, very cool, very, very showy for those who are on the fence about jumping into the game, but definitely looks badass, so cool. Might have to break that out again at some point with the silent helmet. There we go, the conflict between the two factions. The fallout between Xion and Romani. Okay, so we need to have a look at that again. That's very, very cool. So this looks like it. Yeah, this must be the new Vault 96, the one that's down at the south of the Savage Divide. It's currently a daily ops location, which we knew was going to be sort of opening up as part of the Steel Raid story. So this is obviously the nod towards that. So with the other daily ops locations, you can explore them outside of daily ops. 96 is the one ops location you can't explore outside of an op. As it stands, that's going to change obviously with the launch of Steel Rain, and the story will take us in there. And we're starting to see a very interesting looking character. So a little look at this again. See him going in there. So one of the few things we do know about 96 obviously is it's some form of cryovault, not like 111 was in Fallout 4, more in a preserving specimens for repopulating a devastated wasteland kind of concept. We've been told this much already, so that's very, very cool. Now, obviously this is going to be in some way involved in the storyline, so definitely looking forward to that. And still a ton of lore to dive into there, and a lot of interesting stuff to find out about. So what was that line we had from this ominous figure? There we go, who's tapping away on his terminal. Go back to here. So again, yeah, you see two of the new outfits there. They've shown off in a couple of other videos, but that's the new Brotherhood Civvies outfit, and that's the mercenary outfit. Looking very, very cool. I set this plan in motion, and I am the only one who can stop it, says the mysterious figure. So this is interesting. I wonder if that does relate to the missing Brotherhood members or not, but yeah, that's ominous. Some new adversary appearing to really throw something else into the mix on top of just the conflict within the Brotherhood as well. So that should be really, really cool. Very excited for that. Choose Justice. That'll be Romani's side. And there's Duty Knight Shin's side. So, there we go. Deciding the fate of the Brotherhood. Very, very interesting. Obviously, there's going to be some kind of conflict over who gets control of Fort Atlas from the look of this. So that's about what we'd expect, given the way the story was going. It'll be interesting to see what we do there. And obviously, you'll be able to decide on who you want to side with. And presumably, that will be character-bound information. So that if you log in with a different character, play through it, side with the other leader of the Brotherhood, you can have a different result depending on which way you go, which is very, very cool. Give you plenty of options. It's one of the more impactful choices that the players have been given in quite a long time, not just in Fallout, but in other games as well, I think. You know, actually changing what's going on in a specific location in the game, which is something you have to carefully balance in an online game like this, a shared world. So, very, very cool. If we scroll back a little bit, one thing that is quite cool, this location here that we can see, I don't know if you recognise it, but I certainly do, and that's because, ooh, that's a nice shot there. I have been here recently pursuing Commander Deguare's ally quest again, after that went slightly Pete Tong on me. So this looks to be, I could be wrong, but it looks like the headquarters of Atomic Mining Services, AMS, in Watoga. The layout looks about right, the fact it's full of bots, just the general decor and the state of the damage. And these pipes in the background here, those really make me think it's AMS as well, because there's a weird kind of lift system that sends you up through pressurized pipes in there. Sort of does. It's kind of hidden behind the loading screen, which is unfortunate, but still, that is there. So I think that's probably what this is, which is very, very cool. Yeah, look, that looks like the top floor actually to me, because there's an office here. That computer bank looks familiar. There's another office on the other side off to the left from where this character is standing, and then there's a boardroom table behind it with a load of skeletons sat around looking at money, and some military types as well. So obviously some kind of military contract going down when everything went belly up in 2077. So there we go, Fate of the Brotherhood. Let's carry on from there. Xion versus Romani. Oh, Xion's on his backside there. So, not really surprising. If you side with Romani, it looks rather like Xion's going to be for it. I imagine some similar situation will flip over if you side with Xion, and it'll be Romani who's down on the ground. That is epic. And there we have it. A very, very cool piece of art that I sincerely hope Bethesda will be sharing with us. I'll have to jump in and have a look on their website before too long and see what we can pull out of that. So that is very, very cool. Speaking of, so quickly jumping over to the Bethesda website and have a look at the Fallout page. Obviously, we've got a new article covering everything that has just been published via E3 and everything else. We've got the trailer on here. I can link this down below as well. Got a little thank you video talking about the E3 showcase and everything, which might be worth a watch. But I'm not going to do that right now. So we've got the awesome new artwork that looks absolutely fantastic. That's really, really cool. As usual, Bethesda absolutely smashing it with the artwork lately. Fallout 76's artwork since Steel Rain launched back at the end of last year has been absolutely on point. So really happy to see that is continuing. Hats off to whoever the fine artist is behind this, because that is awesome. So we haven't got a vast amount of new information on this page. A little bit about the challenges coming up in the next couple of weeks. Obviously, we'll touch on that in a bit more detail closer to it. And a little mention of the Pitt, which we will jump forward into a minute. And of course, we've got the free week running at the moment as well. So very, very cool. So yeah, basically looking like a lot of what we'd expect, and a little teaser here and there from that trailer about things that we didn't yet know, unless of course you played the PTS, but as I covered, I'm not going to do that until I'll wait until the update drops on the live service, so definitely looking forward to it. Looks like Steel Rain should be really, really cool, definitely very, very hyped for it. Should be a lot of fun to get stuck into the story and round out the Brotherhood's story, at least for now, in Appalachia, so that should be very cool. Obviously, a long lifespan of 76, who knows, there may be more to the Brotherhood story at some point in the future, in future years, but certainly not in the next 18 months, I wouldn't expect, seeing as we know that a lot of what's coming up over the next year or so is going to be focused elsewhere. We know this is an update coming at the end of this year, start of next year, and some other stuff between now and then as well, which is very cool. But speaking of the cool stuff that is coming next year, we got a teaser for Expeditions that we have been waiting for ages. Since probably the end of the first year or so of 76's life, we were talking about, well, opportunities to get outside the map. When you actually have a look around, there's various potential spaces outside to go to. And then with Wastelanders, obviously, the settlers at Foundation in particular mentioned travelling through Pittsburgh and things like that a lot, and there are references to that area. And Bethesda have also said before that we're going to be, in the form of Expeditions, some fan service going on. So a reference to the Pit, I kind of picked up the threads there and put them together, so I'm really not surprised to see the Pit being the first announced expedition, which, as they said previously, is going to be next year. It's 2022. Definitely looking forward to it, though. So all we've got here is a minute-long teaser trailer, or sub 1 minute teaser trailer, but there is some really sweet stuff to have a look at this. So again, sadly, I can't play the sound because I can't risk the music, but I'll link it down below if you want to check it out for yourself, and I strongly suggest you do. So creepy and cool, as close-ups on eyeballs always are. So let's stop that there, because that is very, very cool. So we already knew there was going to be a strong Brotherhood link to Expeditions. It was already announced. So one of the topics I've been discussing for ages is how are we going to get from the main map to wherever the expeditions take place, because they are standalone maps, presumably smaller maps, that's all we know vaguely at the moment, outside of the main one. And it looks like they're going with the obvious option of vertibirds here. I mean, I was personally hoping the Brotherhood would restore trains and we go there by some kind of armoured train, but numerous practical issues with that, and their mechanics are already in place more or less to include vertibirds, and there's also references in and amongst Scribe Valdez's background on her repairing vertibirds for the Brotherhood and stuff, possibly even before she joined the Brotherhood. I'm not quite sure on that, but either way, it's in there. So, not surprised to see this. Nice to see the bomber jacket, and we've got a pilot in there who's obviously waiting for the expedition team of players to get back, which is really, really cool. So that is epic. Let's take that back a little bit again. Nice shot of the vertibird, and an updated look at the Pittsburgh horizon with the Fallout 4, Fallout 76 engine running it, and hardware and all that stuff. That basically a massive overhaul, because last time we saw it, it was Fallout 3, and obviously leaps and bounds have occurred since then, so very, very cool to see a somewhat more modernised version. If you catch tomorrow's Starfield video, probably tomorrow, then there's some other very cool news on that particular front that you should watch out for, so I'll try and remember to squeeze that in. Let's have a look at this. So yeah, awesome destroyed skyline and rooftops. So we've got the steel making background of Pittsburgh, and steel mills in the background now, which is really, really cool. And a little nod to that is nice. Got some dead Brotherhood folks, and look at this. That's Brotherhood Spec Ops outfit there, so definitely interesting and alarming. Looks like some stuff went badly wrong out here. There's another dead, I think that's a Brotherhood outfit. It might be an Insurgent outfit, actually. I can't really tell. It could even be, let's take it back a little bit. That could even be the outfit that was given to players who were playing prior to Wastelanders, the Mountain Scout outfit. So that's very, very cool. There's a lot of possibilities there. Some cool little bits of decoration in here. That's familiar. That light thing is not, so that's cool. Scroll it back a little bit. See that door slam. Definitely having some communication issues there. Oh, something big is there, judging by the way that camera's shaking. Very, very cool. So let's go back a little bit, because there's one thing in here that I've just seen that I really want to point out. There we go. Once my computer wants to play ball and actually show it properly, you can see in the bottom right there, we have an old school Fallout 3 style Pip-Boy. It looks really, really cool. So we've got a Vault Dweller with, it definitely looks like a Fallout 3 one anyway, or it could actually be a bit 76 as well. Though it looks like a right arm with a Pip-Boy on it. But it is a right arm with a Pip-Boy on it. It's on the wrong arm. So very, very strange. That's interesting. So who could that be? Again, it's looking like the Mountain Scout outfit, possibly. It's attached to. But I don't know if that's just a little error or something. I don't know. But the display certainly looks circa Fallout 3 in terms of its sort of resolution and design, I think. Or at least that's what's evoked to me. But the unit itself looks like the Pip-Boy from Fallout 76. So that's very interesting. Maybe it's just a little nod, or maybe it's a reference to an updated version of the Pip-Boy from 3, and we'll find it on bodies of people in the pit, which seems possible. Obviously, Vault 101 may have been almost never opened, but other vaults were, so Vault Dwellers with their Pip-Boys being out there seems reasonably plausible, so that's cool. Definitely very, very cool, and the arm is being dragged off by something. Big and nasty from the sound of things, but we can't see it. Ooh, look at that. Reminds me of Fallout 4 a little bit, actually. Bits of downtown Boston, and there we go. Welcome to the pit. Awesome. So, coming 2022. Not humongously surprising, as I say. Bethesda did say that this will be out much, much later. They had initially hoped to have it out sometime this year, but it ended up being a larger, more complex operation than they had in mind, plus delays earlier in the year. They've pushed it back to next year. But fingers crossed, it also bodes well that they've taken this idea and it's grown on, and they've expanded it, and they're planning on doing even more with it than might have been thought in the first place. Just a little speculation there, but that would be very, very cool. And in any case, getting into some new environments is hugely exciting. I know the pit's not strictly speaking a new environment, but from what I recall, and it has been a while, the actual DLC, the pit for Fallout 3, was not a big area. So the possibility here of them going into a wider area with more to explore and wander around. Obviously, it's not going to be the full 76 map size or anything, but bigger than, say, the Fallout 3 DLC is, and exploring new parts of the ruins of Pittsburgh will be very, very cool. So that should be exciting. Look forward to that. And the other thing to mention, of course, is that this is just the first of the expeditions. Obviously, the clue in the plural of the name there. Pitt's going to be the first place. We've heard rumours that they're looking at the Capital Wasteland proper as well as a possible location. Obviously, that'll be a bit different because we last saw it in Fallout 3, which is some 160-odd years in the future compared to 76. So it's another place that may or may not make an appearance. And beyond that, who knows? There's plenty of places that could possibly reach from West Virginia that would be very, very cool and would make for wonderful expeditions. So fingers crossed, we've got some very, very cool things coming up. I'm guessing from this that they're targeting the first half of 2022. I think if expeditions were expected to come out in the second half, they'd have waited until next year's E3 to announce them. Probably. Don't know, probably. So my guess is that this will be in the first half, and maybe we'll get a second expedition later on in the year. I think, like Steel Dawn to Steel Rain and other updates, there will be sort of spaced out a bit. Same with Daily Ops as well. Obviously, they add new areas and expansions in a kind of spaced out way, which they've done so far. We've just had our first update to Daily Ops. There's another one scheduled for the autumn as well, so that'll be very, very cool. So that is the two major things that we've seen at E3 tonight about Fallout 76, which is absolutely fantastic. It's very cool stuff there. Not massively new. I think the Expeditions trailer is probably the biggest, newest kind of thing that we didn't already know about, but very, very cool to see as well. Obviously, if you go over to Bethesda's Twitch channel, you can check out the replay of the whole event for Xbox and Bethesda, so it goes well outside of the Bethesda realm as well. There's some really cool stuff in there. There's some new stuff from Arcane, which is going to be exclusive to PC and Xbox. Game Pass exclusive, basically. The trend they seem to be going for is new stuff, specifically new stuff, will be only available wherever Game Pass is available. So that's that. There was some concerns here. I didn't spot it myself, but somewhere in here apparently there's no reference to Expeditions and PlayStation. I wouldn't get too worried about that yet. Thing is this is Bethesda and Xbox's conference. They're not going to be sat there promoting PlayStation. Why would they? That just doesn't make sense. So I think the fact that they're really going hard for Game Pass and making Game Pass the biggest thing that they can at the moment is probably why it's not mentioned. They have said, both Bethesda and Xbox, and specifically Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, have said in the past that with the acquisition of Bethesda, the plan was to have new things be exclusive and things that are already existing on multiple platforms, i.e. including PlayStation, remain there so that their existing audiences can still take part. And you don't get much more currently existing than an ongoing game like Fallout 76. So it seems very, very unlikely to me that Expeditions would be Xbox and Game Pass and PC exclusive. Basically, the PlayStation wouldn't get it. I think it's far more likely that everybody will get it and they're just not promoting in PlayStation at an Xbox event. So no need to panic on that yet, I don't think. Unfortunately, however, that does also mean that Starfield will not be coming to PlayStation. At least not early on. It's going to be Game Pass and Xbox exclusive at the very least for some time at first. Who knows? It would be sensible of them to put it on down the line because they still make money from it. But yeah, they want people on their own platforms first. So it kind of is what it is. It was kind of inevitable, but not really news at that point because we kind of knew about it anyway. So on that note, I'm going to stop rambling on. I think there's some cool stuff in here. I do hope you found it interesting to have a little look at this, and I'm very much looking forward to playing Steel Rain when it drops on the 7th of July, so obviously I will be streaming that. Let's have a quick gander now, check what day the 7th of July is, because that would be sensible, wouldn't it? 7th of July is a Wednesday, interestingly enough. That's weird. They normally do these things on a Tuesday. Okay. So, Wednesday the 7th of July, it's actually a normal Fallout streaming day for me, so obviously I will be straight in there on that evening, so do watch out, do join us for that one. I am very, very hyped for it. I hope you'll be there. But for now, massive thank you very much for watching. If you did like the video, please consider dropping likes, subs, and the like. It is very, very much appreciated. Give it a little share around if you'd like to as well. Down below, you can find social media links, all the links I mentioned earlier, and the merch store and channel memberships as well. If you're interested in supporting the channel that way, massively helps out. Very much appreciated. And of course, do join us for live streams of 76 and Mass Effect 2 as well. So, I hope to see you there. Thank you very much for watching. I look forward to speaking to you all very, very soon.